Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and Tottenham Hotspur have defeated Bodø Glimt 2-0 away, and they have won on the night, and they have won the tie on aggregate as well with a 5-1 aggregate score, and they have qualified for the Europa League final, and they are going to play Manchester United in that final. And so we have an all English Europa League final. So before we go talk about the final, let's go ahead and talk about tonight's game. I'll be very honest, it was not a really good game of football. It was quite a boring game. It was quite a lethargic effort from both of the sides, if I'm being very honest with you. I'm really disappointed with Bodø Glimt. I think they have had an amazing season, what they have achieved, being the first Norwegian side to come into into a European semi-final. I mean, that is a hell of an achievement from them. But I'll be very honest, I really thought that they were gonna come out guns blazing. It was their home side, the atmosphere was with them, they had their home fans with them. A small stadium, the fans are really close. They could have made and the fans were really up for it. I'm not gonna take anything away from them, but the players unfortunately were not really up for it. They could have really made life hell for Tottenham Hotspur, but it felt like I said that in the first leg, it felt like the moment and the scenario and the situation got to them, but I just think tonight they were just really poor. I mean, they were really not able to create anything of concrete. There were so many misplaced passes by them. It just felt like the chemistry of the team was not there. It just felt off, if I'm being very honest. They were just poor, I will say it, and you cannot expect to have a performance like that in a European semi-final. I mean, let alone in any game, let alone in the European semi-final. I mean, if they would have even playing in the Norwegian league, I expect they would have ended up losing a game, or even drawing a game, or even losing a game. That's how that's how bad they were, if I'm being very honest with you. They were just poor, nothing about it. I mean, there was no eagerness, there was no intention. It just did not felt like that they really wanted to try and show any effort to try to get back into the game. Spurs really did not have to do anything, if I'm being very honest with you. In fact, Spurs looked like the more dominant team. They looked like the more dangerous team. That it felt like Spurs were the team who were trying chasing the game, who had to score 2 goals. It felt like that, and never in those 90 minutes I felt like Bodø Glimt had to score 2 goals to remain in that competition, and that just tells you how much of a bad performance they had, if I may say so. But it is what it is. I mean, they are of course an underdog team, if I'm in terms of the competition. But again, I have to say, you really need to step up and all of that. You need to really work hard and try to do something, but they really did not do. But I'm not going to take anything away from Tottenham. I mean, they really were really good on the night. They were the better team all over the 2 legs as well. They played really good football. In the start, you just felt like for the 5 to 10 minutes that they wanted to see what Bodø Glimt are they are going to do. They expected something from them, that maybe they are going to come at and try to attack us, but they really did not do that. And I think Spurs, in my opinion, like Spurs players, and I think post-Stoke, all of them were quite surprised that Bodø Glimt, they have not really come out all guns blazing. They're not really trying to attack us, and I think that really gave Spurs the confidence, and they're like, okay, we are going to play our game then, and that's what they did, and they started creating chances. I mean, majority of the chances were from Spurs, even though they were half-hearted attempts as well, and they're both of those goals. I mean, it was nothing really special from them. I think before the goals, the only good a good chance that came was from Pedro Porro, that the goalkeeper saved. Apart from that, I mean, it was nothing really. As I said, it was not a really good game of football, but I don't think Spurs fans are gonna mind. I mean, Solanke scored a goal from a corner kick. I don't know who heads it down. I forgot the player, but Solanke was there. That's why they bought him, to beat a poacher, to score the goal whenever there's a chance. In that 6-yard box, Solanke is gonna score a goal, and the ball comes to him, and he was really fast and scores the goal. It becomes a 1-0. And Pedro Porro, I mean, that second goal he scored, he's gonna claim it. He's gonna say that it was all intentional, but of course it was not intentional. He tried to cross it, and somehow it ended. Hits the crossbar and goes into the back of the net. I mean, I just love the way that the Bodø Glimt goalkeeper went down after the ball went in. I mean, he was like, okay, whatever. Sorry about that. So yeah, as I said, it was a weird game, if I'm being very honest. It was quite a boring game. I'm really glad that we had like about 4 games to watch at the same time. So if a game like this one, which was quite a boring game, I'm again gonna say it, was going on, you could switch it off and you could watch another game, which I did, at the same time. This. There's nothing really much to say. I would say Spurs went there, they did the job, and they qualified for the final, and that was the goal because of the season that Spurs are having. I mean, this is their only chance to qualify for the Champions League, but mostly, more importantly, their only chance, big chance to finally win a major trophy. It has been before me and my parents were even born that Spurs won a major trophy. So it is now the best opportunity that they have. They have already been in the European final when they were in the Champions League final and they lost to Liverpool, and now they have a chance yet again. Another English club is gonna be standing in their way. It will be quite interesting to see. I mean, it is a final between Manchester United and Spurs, two supposedly big six teams who have had a terrible season, and yet both of them are in the final. So it will be quite interesting which of those teams end up having sort of a saving grace at the end of the season. I would still say that, especially Spurs, you can stay if they end up winning a trophy. I mean, they would be really happy. They would be glad that they won a trophy. But I would still think that majority of the Spurs fans are going to be saying that it is not a really a good season, because if they don't win it, they are not going to it has been a dreadful season. So winning a trophy at the end, I don't expect it to be a good season, but it will be quite interesting to see how the Spurs fans react if they end up winning the trophy, because they are going to win the Champions League and all, and it will be interesting what happens to Postecoglou if they end up winning the Europa League. Bodø, on the other hand, I mean, the story of that club is amazing. From being not even being in the league about 4 or 5 years to now being the semi-finalist in the European Cup, being the first club to qualify for a semi-final of a European competition from your country. I mean, that's a massive achievement, and of course they are going to learn as they go by. The last year they were, I think, in the quarterfinals, if I'm not wrong. This year it's a semi-final. Next year maybe they end up qualifying for the final as well. So huge achievement from Bodø, and they should they were not really good on the night, but they should go out of the tournament with their heads high. A great tournament from them, a great performance. I mean, they beat some of the bigger teams of in the tournament, and they made it to the last 4. So like, that's a massive achievement from them. Yeah, great night for Spurs, unfortunate night for Bodø, but we finally have a final. It is Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur, and it is going to be really interesting. That is it from me in this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the game in the comment section below, and who do you think is the favorite for the final, Manchester United or Tottenham Hotspur? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of the season. It's about 30 plus subscribers remaining, and the season is almost about to end. So please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.